Today on the show, we're celebrating the release of Smash Bros. Ultimate by talking about the Triforce. Welcome to Lore Party, the podcast that explores the stories, characters, and universes behind some of our favorite video games. I'm Lawerence, and today I'm joined by my two favorite Lore Party members.
You say that every time.
Do I have to introduce you guys?
No, you don't have to introduce us. They knew who we are at this point. Everybody knows who we are at this point. We're not even going to say our names. I'm not going to say my name's Nick.
Absolutisms. And I'm Allie.
And we're back from a very cool hiatus to bring you a special episode of our Zelda episode. Yeah.
Our very special episode of Zelda episode, which will be an episode that will go along with the other Smash Brothers episodes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, I'm really excited for Super Smash Brothers.
Yes, me too. So excited, in fact, that you and Allie joined me tonight to create this awesome special episode that we keep talking about but not going into any deeper. So, right now, this very second, we are going to talk about the Triforce and how it relates to each of us.
I'm very into that. I like this because we always tend to have very different opinions on the Triforce. I know at least me and Lawerence do.
So, if you've never played The Legend of Zelda before,
which you're trying to that.
Right, you should change that. But if you're trying to get into it now by listening to our podcast, thank you very much. So you know what? To help you out, we'll explain what the Triforce actually is.
Which is essentially, it's a cookie, and it's 3 layers, and one of them is a very flaky crust. The other is kind of a jam filling, and on top is more of a crumble that you would find on top of something like a peach cobbler.
We might be playing a different game, but...
Oh no, this isn't Overcooked 2?
No,
Great British
not at
Bingo.
all. But if I, let me get my ominous voice going. So, way back in the day. No, way back, I guess, at the point
Before
of...
day.
Way before today. At the point of creation, there were 3 goddesses that came down to what would be Hyrule, or the world of Legend of Zelda. We'll just assume Hyrule. And they essentially created the sky, the land, and then filled it with life. These 3 goddesses were Den, the goddess normally represented by fire. Then you had Naru, which is normally represented by, love and protection. That was the goddess that created the sky.
Water? Was she water?
Water, yeah, water.
It changes, guys. It's so hard to define.
It does
changes
change
every time.
And then the third one, no one's going to help me out with the name?
No, okay, come on. We did this. It's now I can't say it.
Yeah,
Furore. It's furore.
You guys say furore, but I'm all about the end with the E, furore.
It's furore or furore, whatever your preference is. And this was the goddess that created life. So when the goddesses ascended back into heaven, they left behind a sacred relic known as the Triforce. And this Triforce represented power, courage, and wisdom, and it would give the wielder the ability to reshape the land in their own image. Which, who doesn't want that?
Who wouldn't? I know, in all actuality, me, I probably should not be given that kind of power. Mostly because everyone would just get free Wendy's every day, and there'd be French fry buffets on every corner because I'm hungry, and that's all I can think about right now.
So now the next thing we need to do is search for the Triforce for Nick.
Yeah, there we go, guys. I will make the world a better place.
Yes, make it, dare I say, great again.
Yeah, I'm
I knew I was trying to avoid that one.
Yeah, you're floating the line
I was trying to float away from that. I was trying to bring the breeze back.
Let's talk about the 3 different pieces of the Triforce. So like I mentioned earlier, you have the Triforce of Wisdom, you have the Triforce of Courage, and you have the Triforce of Power. Which piece or pieces of the Triforce best represent you guys, and I get to pick the order because I said so. Damn it. And Allie, you're going first.
Cool, great. Well, when I started to think about the different pieces of the Triforce and which one I associate with the most, I thought about like what motivates us, what motivates me, what motivates human beings and our natural drives, and makes us do everything that we do, every action. And I believe that my actions are mostly motivated probably by power. If we're honest, like wisdom's great, courage is great. I think the courage is my second most, definitely very important, but it comes down a lot to the way that I am, I think, at work and like with my friends and everything, with my career.
So you'd say you're a power-driven person.
Yeah, I tend to really crave responsibility, I think, and I at work I'll use any way that I can. You learn how to get what you want, many methods of communication and talking to the right people and getting what you want in many different ways, and make sure that I'm on all the projects I want to be on, and I have the responsibilities and all the power that I crave.
So you're constantly seeking power. Do you hear this, Nick?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I that's what I would say.
Allie's eventually going to take over this podcast.
No, and that's like the other thing is like there's some things that I tend not to. I try not to try to lead this podcast or anything. I'm not like overly motivated to do that, but I think with my own personal projects and my own personal needs, like I tend to do that a lot. It's like a fire behind a lot of what I do. And I think it comes down to, like I said, like leadership. I identify the power of Triforce as kind of a leadership sort of thing.
Interesting, because you don't see that too often in the Legend of Zelda universe in any of like the different timeline splits.
Mm-hmm.
It's normally power is kind of like a one-man thing. Like it's more of like the most powerful instead of like, I don't know, like the person that's like strong-willed and can like lead a group of people.
Yeah, no, it is kind of like what Ganondorf does with the whole leadership thing. He is taking it because of his own personal need for that, but I don't think I'm trying to, become some,
Ganondorf clone?
Communist leader or something or other, whatever, but I think in the little things that we do every day, I think that's my little motivation. Wanting what I want and taking what I want. Probably. Oof.
Oh, right.
Yeah. I'm an Aries. Like, I just gotta headstrong up in there,
One of those Ganondorf people. All right, so Nick, same question.
So, let's all three of the pieces of the Triforce, I've always really been drawn to, Link and his ability to possess and, hone in the power of the Triforce of Courage. And I think the main reason behind that is that the Triforce of Courage essentially just, you have to earn that. Like throughout the games, like you don't necessarily just get the Triforce of Courage. You have to prove yourself. So personally, I have a lot of anxiety all the time about all the things, and it's really great. And just kind of like about literally everything.
Don't we all though? Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but it's like one of those things where it's like I can either just sit around and wait and sit around and not do anything and let that stop me, or I can go out and do things in the world. And so in Adventures of Link, the king actually locks away the Triforce of Courage in the Great Palace, where it has to be where it has to be earned by a great hero. And that's a lot of the things that Link goes through. He has to earn the power of that Triforce. He has to earn the ability to hone in on it. He's the only one that isn't necessarily born with it. He has to prove that he is that reincarnation of, the great hero that can possess it. He has to prove that he's worthy to possess it every time. And so I've always really been drawn to that because there always has to be action there. He can't just sit around. He doesn't just get the Triforce of Courage. He doesn't just get to hang out and just be like, yeah, I have these powers like everybody else does. Like
Right.
he has to really, put forth the effort to show that he is, the great hero.
So I have an interesting like kind of question related to that. I mean, or like I guess side statement. So it's funny that you bring that up with Link and like the Triforce of Courage, because it is like the only piece of the Triforce that really doesn't have like it doesn't seem like there's any sort of like magic or power that's associated with it, because it doesn't really do anything.
Yeah, I mean, well, the Triforce of Courage, there's some speculation out there as to what it really does if, the person who is born to bear that Triforce, if maybe they're, inherently skilled at things like, the reason Link can just happen to use weapons that he just picks up out of boxes with, mastery. Just by touching them.
It's all that Forest Kid training.
Yeah,
man.
there's all that Forest Kid. All that time with a slingshot really does that. But no, yeah, it's the only one that doesn't necessarily... he's the only one that doesn't have some sort of magical power, except for, honing the power of Froor through, like, the Master Sword or something like that. He's the only one... Or, he doesn't need... he always needs an external vessel for the magic. In Wind Waker, it's the wand. In the Ocarina of Time, it's the ocarina. But yeah, he's the only one that doesn't have any inherent magical ability or added strength or, anything like that.
Except for his, ancient instincts, we could say, with the whole reincarnation all the time. I guess that's kind of...
Yeah, but he still has to, he still has to, earn those. He has to remember those every time.
Every time,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, I totally get that. He's kind of just a guy and thinks of himself as just a guy.
Right. All right, Lawerence. So what about you, man? How do you feel about
Lawerence.
these Triforces?
All the Triforces and stuff. Well, you know what, man? I took a very long time to think about this, and in very Lawerence fashion, I chose all three pieces.
It's Lawerence doesn't relate to one. He relates to ultimate cosmic power.
Well, and Lawerence, before you even start, that is part of it, though. You can't have one without the other, and so I totally understand that being kind of hard at first to... And I know you're going to have your reasoning, but...
Or it's just a cop-out.
No, no.
I'm just a damn god. No.
I understand.
I mean...
Go ahead.
Okay. So, I'm pulling... When I think about this, I'm not thinking of, the associated characters, because I always find,
Exactly.
they're just they're all just a representation of one aspect of the whole thing.
I mean,
so,
I chose Ganondorf, so it's not exactly where my mind was either. Keep going.
So I feel like one of my all-time favorite Zelda games is the Wind Waker, and at the very end of the Wind Waker, King, who I can't remember his name, but I'm just gonna say King Hyrule. He during the fight with Ganondorf at the very end of the Wind Waker, he appears once they've assembled all three pieces of the Triforce. And as the legend goes, in order to get the power to reshape the land in your own image, you have to display all three qualities: wisdom, courage, or you have to be able to assemble them all in one area. The reason why I would choose all three is because I feel like, personally, I don't know, I guess I'm a very balanced person. I'd say the power aspect of me is most likely my drive. I feel like I have a lot of kind of grand goals in life that I want to accomplish, being inside and outside of Lore Party and working on this podcast. I don't know. I feel like I'm giving myself a real big ego boost here.
Right, isn't it fun to talk about yourself?
Right. It's after I've stroked my own ego, it's I represent none of these things.
I'm amazing.
Yeah, I'm just the most amazing person.
No,
I don't think it's.
Lawerence, you're doing great. Keep going.
I'm so good. I guess my point is basically I feel like I'm a very balanced person. That's why I would choose all three. I don't think that I have any qualities that are I don't think I have any overarching qualities that would represent any three pieces. But I would think that at my core, I'm a very balanced person.
So it was a cop out.
It was a super cop out.
I called it.
It was a super cop out. I feel like I'm. I'm courageous, smart, and powerful, or at least
Wow.
I think you're courageous, smart, and
good-looking.
powerful too, Lawerence. I think you're very courageous, smart, and powerful.
If you guys are going to hold me to just picking a single piece,
I'm going to. Yeah, I definitely am. Do it.
oh, okay. Well, because you guys are evil and you hate me, I would say that I'd probably choose wisdom because that was the only one left, you jerks. No, I would probably choose wisdom.
All this out.
Because
I would probably choose wisdom, honestly, because I'm like a super curious person and I'm always constantly learning things and I'm always constantly seeking knowledge.
2 swords, one for monsters, one for humans. 2 podcast hosts, one named Abu, that's me, and one named Brett. 1 podcast on one incredible universe. Tune into our Witcher series here on Lore Party, wherever you get your podcasts. Sorry for the dramatic interruption. Back to your show.
So I thought like another cool discussion point that we could talk about would be, since we did talk about Smash at the very beginning of this episode, and I know that some of our viewers are like, where's the Smash part? Well, with the release of Super Smash Brothers, you have these characters, Link, Ganondorf, Zelda, Sheik, that are all appearing in this game. So now that we've chosen which piece of the Triforce that best represents us, I think that it would be kind of cool to see like how you stack up against that character in the game or the gods from Ocarina of Time or Triforce or whatever.
Okay, well, if we want to start with Smash, can I just get it out there right away? I would never, ever play Ganondorf, ever.
But you're powerful, and Ganondorf is powerful. Why wouldn't you choose him?
He has the same physique as, like, Captain Falcon, basically. I can't
No,
play
they're the
those
same
ones.
character. Captain Falcon.
Aren't they?
Yeah, they're the same.
Is that's accurate?
Yeah,
okay,
they're-
guys, I
yeah,
haven't...
That's actually
Yeah.
accurate.
Ganondorf's just a little bit taller.
Yeah, so I would never play any of those kinds of forms. I am a big I play Sheik all the time. So I'm a big Sheik. As soon as you put on Zelda or whatever, I instantly go to Sheik and I'm just Sheik the whole time. Like that's my MO. So yeah, I am a big Sheik player, though I don't value wisdom as much as you do.
Interesting. Okay. Well, Nick, so same question.
So we're talking about like what Smash Brothers character we like the most, because mine is Link, and every day since 6th grade, I have played as Link. Every time I've played Super Smash Brothers, I've ventured away from it every now and then, but I always feel like I'm cheating on my main man Link, because
That's how I feel about Yoshi. So go ahead.
that's my go-to. That's my go-to. I know Link's moves inside and out in that game, and it's great. And they change a little bit over the course of the games, but overall solid, balanced character, good speed, good reflexes, good reach, good weapons. He's my go-to guy.
And then in the context of like the universe of Legend of Zelda, you're more of a like, so you're pretty much set on the courage,
Yeah.
Link, and
Yeah, I mean, look, you've got Link, you've got the Triforce of Courage. I mean, you've got Furore, who created all of the life on the planet. I mean, the forest guardian, if you will, like the Kuriko village, and the Great Dooku tree is essentially Furore's best friend. I mean, yeah, I dig it.
Did you like the Deku tree the best?
I still love the Deku tree, man.
so what is it about Link though that you associate with?
Oh, I mean, like the whole Triforce of Courage thing, man. Always having to prove yourself and continue working towards something.
Hey, Lawerence, how about you?
So I would say that I also out of the 3, I use in the context of Smash, I use Zelda a ton.
Okay, cool.
I'm someone who enjoys like being a supporting person rather than like always being the leader, where I feel like that's where like Zelda comes in. She's normally always there when you're fighting like your last boss. Zelda gives you some of the best items in the game, and Zelda always is like the driving force that guides Link to where he needs to go. It kind of sets him on the right path for his trials. Also, Zelda's just a badass. Well, that about wraps it up. We hope you've enjoyed this episode, and if you did, maybe take a second to rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. It really helps us grow the show. And be sure to connect with us on Instagram and Twitter at lore_party. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you on Smash Bros.
All right, guys. I think that was good.
Oh God, I don't know. Let's do it again.
Okay.
I don't. I wish I could. I don't have time tonight.
What, the whole
So much I have
episode?
to do.
The whole episode?
Yeah, no, I don't know.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, but no.
You didn't like the episode?
I just feel like I don't know.
Uh-oh.
I felt bad about myself.